If you plan on heading to the back roads, you should definitely consider armoring up. Hello, I'm Steven with Mod in Japan, and this is MIJ Tech, where we do hands-on real-world reviews of some of the fun mods available for your Toyota and Lexus. Today we are talking about our rival 4x4 aluminum skid plates for the third generation Tacoma. If you aren't familiar with our shop truck, this is our 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road 4x4, the MIJ Taco, which we partnered up with Maxxis Tire and Jeremy McGrath for this truck build that was in the Rhino Rack booth in West Hall for SEMA Show 2022. We have been working with Rival 4x4 for the last 3 years, and they are an awesome company. They began developing loopless aluminum bumpers in 2013, and since then have expanded into 65 different countries, diversifying their lineup to include a multitude of off-road and overland accessories, from roof racks to bumpers. Our focus today will be on their aluminum skid plates. Now, what are skid plates and what are they used for? Basically, they are metal plates that are designed to protect the undercarriage of your vehicle. Skid plates can serve a spectrum of off-roaders, from extreme rock crawlers where the skid plates will be constantly impacting rocks, to the weekend off-roader or overlander who is just looking for a protective layer for their car's vitals. Now, before you light me up in the comments about how these could be overkill, it really depends on your preferences and use case. Personally, I value safety and consistency and am willing to add some extra equipment for peace of mind. Our Tacoma build was designed more as a daily driver and weekend overlander, so it doesn't usually experience the abuse of intense rock crawling. However, when my friends and I go camping and overlanding, we like to go to places that people generally don't go, as it's more fun being out in the middle of nowhere. That being said, one of the bigger issues of being in the middle of nowhere is not having cellular reception, quick access to emergency services, supplies, and/or towing. Without access to these backup services, I think it's smart and prudent to have some protection to ensure your rig won't leave you stranded. As a bonus, these skid plates also have a cool rugged look. Before we get into the individual pieces, let's talk about the overall benefits of the Rival 4x4 skid plates. They are all made of non-corrosive marine-grade aluminum, which is 30% lighter than the equivalent steel version. To me, this is a really important point, considering that the Tacoma doesn't have the most power to begin with. So adding on additional weight makes the truck far more sluggish. They are also polymer powder coated, with all the fittings designed to be concealed to minimize damage during off-road driving. In places where you may require a fluid change, there are removable ports that allow you to service your vehicle without having to remove your skid plates. They've also designed apertures for efficient water and dirt drainage, while also improving insulation and airflow. However, my favorite aspect of these skid plates is that they require no drilling, as they install directly to existing factory mounting points, making it easy for anybody to buy and install these plates themselves. If you don't have a Tacoma or a Tundra, they have a lot of different applications and different manufacturers, including Jeep, Mazda, Ford, and Subaru. I like to think of a truck as a human body. It's important to look at some of the vital organs that need to function and be protected in order for you to be able to get in and out of the trails safely. Firstly, the engine is like the heart of your truck, and the oil is like your blood. Much like a human being, if your heart stops working, or you don't have blood, you're not going anywhere. This is why Rival includes an essential skid plate that protects the radiator and the engine. This piece also has an opening so you can quickly and easily change your oil without having to remove the plate. At only 25 pounds, the 1/4-inch thickness makes this plate incredibly durable. Naturally, if budget allows, I would suggest that you get all the plates in this set, but if you could only get one, I suggest this one. It sits in the position everyone is used to seeing, which is the front skid plate that's factory on the TRD Pro models. Even if you're someone that doesn't go off-roading or overlanding, this one can save you a lot of time and headache even on the freeway. I don't know where you guys are from, but I'm from Southern California, just outside of Los Angeles. Here, it sometimes feels safer driving on the trails than on our freeways when it comes to debris. I personally have had all sorts of crap thrown at me that could have punched a hole in my oil pan, including a crowbar, hammers, shovels, rims, and pretty much any other insane object you could think of. I've even had a friend whose car caught on fire and burnt to the ground on a surface street because some kind of metal hit his oil pan and the oil sprayed onto his exhaust manifold and caught fire. True story. The next plate that Rival offers is for the transmission and transfer case. Now in this metaphor, your transmission and transfer case are like your hamstrings in your hip. Without these, you aren't moving. The transmission and transfer case helps propel your truck forward and make sure that they remain damage-free and is a definite must addition. They also have plates for the lower control arms in the front. Now these are like your feet. And could you imagine trying to run around without having any feet? It would probably suck. If you were to damage your lower control arms while out in the field, you would never be able to articulate the steering wheel and have any meaningful way to steer. The last plate I want to talk about today is a really important one, and that's the aluminum skid plate for the gas tank, which is the energy or the lungs of the truck. Now this particular gas tank skid plate is referenced only for the 5-foot short bed. Our Tacoma is actually a 6-foot long bed, and out of the 2 pieces that the kit comes with, the bottom piece fits perfectly, which is the most important protection piece of all. The top piece that angles upward doesn't fit on a 6-foot bed, but that's okay with me since the majority of the tank is protected. Personally, I'd rather have something than nothing, especially when it comes to gas. If you have the Rival 4x4 skid plate, what you get is peace of mind. If you're in a city, the freeway will throw all sorts of crap at you, and if you're in the backwoods, you might drive over a bunch of sharp crap. So either way, knowing that you have some degree of protection underneath your truck is a solid investment that also happens to look super cool. Now there are other options out there that are made of steel and would be stronger and easier to slide on over some rocks. But as someone that daily drives this Tacoma, weight is kind of important to me. The Tacoma drinks gas like a V8, and adding unnecessary additional weight is not something that I'd like to do. So these Rival 4x4 plates are a happy medium. I know a lot of the community disagrees on this, pushing for heavier, tougher options, but I always advocate for upgrades that reflect the preferences and needs of the driver. Many of us are going to use this truck for overlanding and as a daily driver. So for me, it's better to enjoy some fuel economy and practicality. If you do decide to become a hardcore wheeler, you're going to do something more insane and trailer it anyways. I think this setup is literally the perfect option for 95% of the people out there. If you'd like to buy any of these Rival 4x4 skid plates, I will link all the information you need in the description below. If you want to support us and videos like this, buy one from us. If you find a better deal from another trustworthy distributor somewhere else, buy it there. Can't blame anybody for getting a good deal. You could also help us by subscribing and hitting that notification bell and throwing a like on this video. Add a comment below letting us know which Rival skid plate you want to install on your rig. You can also find us on social media. I'll link those below as well. As always, we appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.